Hi guys, welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Oh my god, I'm so excited to be filming and to show you how I did this look. It is a kind of smoky cranberry silver look. I think it's awesome for the holidays coming up, especially because Christmas is coming up and we all know cranberry and silver or cranberry and gold is a really awesome color combo for the holidays. So yeah, welcome to my first video. My name is Isabella and I will be talking about makeup and my journey and everything else during this video. So thank you so much for joining me and I hope you enjoy. Let's get started. Okay, so what I am thinking for today is a kind of like silver cranberry halo eye. Halo eyes are such a hit or miss to do because they are kind of difficult to do. But I want to give it a go. I have all my products laid out in front of me and figured we would just get started. So first off is, let me put my hair back. I literally have had this headband for so long, so I don't know where it is from. It just looks like this. It kind of is kind of dirty, has some makeup on it. She's been used and abused. So I already started out and I moisturized a little bit on my face. Basically I use the Farsali Rose Gold Elixir Drops. So these bad boys. I use these to moisturize mostly right here because lately I've been washing my face like not too much, but to the point of where it's like it's getting really dry right in this area. So I'm gonna put actually a little more right there, just to make sure. I did wash my face already. I definitely recommend before you do your makeup to just really always wash your face. It gets off any dirt that you might have, you know, still had left over from the day before, or any dirt that is just still there from the night. This oil, I like this oil because to me it's not like oily, if that makes sense. It just feels really, really moisturizing. It like doesn't feel heavy. And I have oily skin, so to me, like, I can put this on. I never really put it on underneath my makeup unless my skin is literally so dry to the point of where it's like hurting. So next, I have been always doing this before I put on any makeup whatsoever because it's really, really important to do. I have the Neutrogena Age Shield Face Oil-Free Lotion, and this is just a sunscreen for your face. There it is. This is SPF 110. I put this all over my face. I put it down. I used to use it as a primer before I really started like buying real primers. But then I stopped just because I bought primers. It is kind of like after you put it on, it kind of just feels a little bit sticky and like it is moisturizing. So I started doing this because of my mom. She told me that she wished, like, you know, when she was my age, she wished that she had been wearing sunscreen. So ever since she told me that, I think I was a sophomore in high school, I started doing that every single day. Oops. Every single day I've been doing that. So after that, I'm gonna actually go into my real primer, and my real primer is the Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer. So that is what this looks like. I know I did just say I have oily skin, but in the mornings, especially when I use a Peter Thomas Roth face wash, and at night I use two different face washes, one just to remove all my makeup, and then my Peter Thomas Roth to really get into my skin and dirt, or not dirt, and get away all the dirt. So I use this especially in the morning because it is really moisturizing, and after washing my face, my skin just feels super, super dry. So this is great. I love this. I've been using this for so long. I think this was one of the first ever like expensive, and I mean like expensive primers I ever bought when I was first getting into makeup. So yeah. So I'm going to work this all over my face, and then I'm especially going to put any like excess I have, not excess, but like really working on my nose too, because I use a silicone based primer right here, but I do not put it on my nose. And for the longest time I used to put it on my nose, and I could not figure out why my face looked, or like my nose kept, like my makeup kept breaking up on my nose, and like I just like didn't understand. And then I started watching some videos and people were like, if you put silicone based primers on your nose, it's going to break up your makeup. And especially because I already have oily skin, I was like, oh, maybe that's the problem. And it was. So okay. So then for the silicone base primer, this is the Smashbox Photo Finish Foundation Primer. It's this one. Every YouTuber and their mother probably uses this one. It is really good for blending in the pores. It is really good at making your pores look less, like, obvious. I'm gonna put a little bit right here, a little bit right here. I normally don't put this in that many spots, but because I put so much on my hand on accident. So I'm really gonna blend this up. And then I blend it under my eyes a little bit because I have some pretty fine lines under my eyes. And this kind of helps makeup not sink into them so easily. Okay. So, for the fun part. Foundation. So I bought this. I literally bought this over the summer. And I used it for the first time yesterday. And yesterday was November 14th. What am I doing with my life? This is the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop Full Coverage Foundation. So, okay, first off, I was really nervous to use this. Purely because I was reading the reviews and so many people were like, it doesn't stay on, it's horrible, like, it's super matte, it's super, and like all of this, I was like, okay, listen, like, if it's super matte, that's not a problem for me because my skin does get super oily. So I wore it for the first time yesterday, like I said, and oh my goodness, it stayed on all day and I love it. Once I'm using it, I can't just be like, yes, best foundation ever. I do have a lot of foundations, don't get me wrong. I have the Born This Way, I have Fenty, I have the Maybelline Fit Me, matte and the dewy one. I have the, I think it's the LA Girl. I have a lot of foundations to begin with. So, I got in the habit of using, like, always using my Born This Way foundation, always using my Fenty foundation because I knew they worked for me. So, I stepped out of my comfort zone yesterday. I wore this and I did my daily routine. Like, I went to school, I got lunch with my best friends, and like I did everything that I would do on a normal day. And like it stayed on all day. And it's not really hot here. It's not hot at all. I think yesterday it was 38 degrees, so it's definitely cold. But this stayed on awesome. So I'm gonna be doing this with a damp beauty blender. My beauty blender needs a good wash. So I am in the color Natural. So I'm going to take this on I use this for my SFX makeup when I do it. Haven't had the chance to do it really yet, but I bought a bunch of new stuff for this year. Halloween has passed, but can always make Christmas a little spooky. So I actually was watching Tati yesterday and she recommended putting it on a glass palette. I only have this metal one, but I always do forget to wipe it off the back of my hand, or like, you know, I just like, I can get the most product out of this and my hand, like my hand soaks up some of the product, so that won't happen with this. So we're just gonna go, I just did 3 pumps for now. I like to kind of like, I like full coverage. So I'm gonna start right here and then just blend it out. I put on my private Instagram and my makeup Instagram. I will drop the names somewhere here. I told people to ask me a question that they wanted to have answered. And so I could just kind of like talk about me, tell you guys who I am since this is my first video. I figured that might be fun to do. I'm going to be mixing 2 of these setting sprays. This is the Makeup Revolution. I'm sure you all know what this one is. If you don't, it's MAC Fix Plus. The Makeup Revolution Pro Fix Illuminating Fixing Spray. I'm going to spray my Beauty Blender with both of these. So I'm just going to go through and just kind of bounce this all over my face. As you can see, this foundation really is really mattifying. So if you do have drier skin, I'm not sure if this would be great for you. Oily skin, 110% recommend it. So for my first concealer, I'm going to be using the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. It's a really, really awesome foundation, concealer. So I'm in the shade Porcelain. The shade, okay, I went to go buy this and they didn't have, I went to the shade, I think it was Vanilla. And they didn't have vanilla. And so she told me just to go with this one, it's fine. But this one is more of a, I don't want to say pinky undertone because it's not pinky. But it isn't my undertone. It's not a, I love this. I love this concealer 100 times over. I will recommend this to anyone. Go and buy it. It's worth the dime. I just wish I got my color. But you make do, you make do. Okay, so I am 18 years old. I have been in love with makeup for so many years. And I do remember that was one of the questions I saw, so I don't want to like talk about it so much until I get to that point. I have 2 siblings. One is a half sister and one is a older brother. My older brother is 21. Love that. My little sister is 3 years old. Her name is Amelia. She is cute. She lives back in Chicago though, however. So I'm going to take the other side, the side I used to actually blend my foundation onto my skin, and just kind of press it where I kind of want a more seamless blend, where the concealer is, or where the concealer ends and where the foundation starts. And then when I start at the bottom, I just kind of dab it in and like kind of drag it down when I'm doing it. And then I just start, when I get closer to my under eye, I just press very lightly. And it's really important that you really press this in and not like drag it, because if you're going to drag it, you're really just dragging your foundation all over the skin. And you don't really want that, because you want your foundation to stay in one place. You don't want it sliding and slipping all over your face. It's not cute. It's not a look. It's never a look. So next I'm going to take my Laura Mercier powder and I'm going to put it in the lid just to get it ready to set. Okay, so now I'm taking the Tarte Shape Tape in the color Fair Light Neutral. And you're going to see what I mean when I say this is too light. So then again, I'm just going to start from the lower part and then slowly blend it in. Really quickly, I'm now taking the Morphe Sculpt and Blend. And I'm just going to take the one side, I'm going to pick up some powder and then set the under eye. I grew up in Chicago. And then I moved out to the Chicago suburbs when I was 12, so I lived in Chicago for 12 years. I do have a dog. I used to have, okay, this sounds so sad. I have a dog at my dad's house as well. I used to have 2 dogs at my dad's house, but recently we hit the 1-year mark of putting down my first dog. His name was Bono. He was a pug. I'll like insert a picture of him somewhere. He was old. Needless to say, he was an old soul. He was a good dog though, and you know, his time came and we were all okay with it. So that is that. I'm going to be doing my eyebrows now. I always do my eyebrows, then my eyes, and then the rest of my face. After I do my eyebrows, I will be baking, so kind of like it's like set, brows, bake. So I'm going to be using the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade in the color dark brown. So we all know the infamous. I like having dark brows. It's just me, just how I do it. So I'm going to zoom you guys in and then we will start getting into the eyes. So I'm going to, this is the Wet n Wild Ultimate Retractable Brow Pencil. I do not like this. I think it is too thick. I also have never really been into using eyebrow pencils. I think it's just kind of difficult to use and manipulate. Come on. It looks like this, and then like when you, I don't know, it just like, it's not very pigmented either. I mean, like, I'm sure there's some YouTubers that are like, yes, this is it. This is amazing. For me, I could put the money elsewhere. Let me preface by saying this. My eyebrows, they're thick and they're uneven. I had one bad waxing experience where the woman made them completely uneven and now they have never been even since. After that, I like to carve out my brows. So I'm taking my Morphe M421 and I'm going to just simply I'm going to take whatever's left on here on my middle finger and pat it on my eye as my eye primer. For eyes, my favorite part of my whole routine. This is from Storybook Cosmetics. It doesn't have a number on it. It's their Harry Potter brushes. This is what it looks like. So I think what I'm going to do is dip into my Thirsty palette. And I think I'm going to go into Taste Buds. So Taste Buds is this color right here. Just going to lightly dip into it. It is a bit bright, so I mean lightly I'm going to like, so I'm just going to work this into the crease. I'm going to open up some of the questions that I was asked. So the first one is from someone I used to work with. Her name is Sammy, and she said, any advice to people who barely know how to apply makeup properly? LOL. Makeup is something that is a skill that is learned. Obviously, it takes time. It's not something that I just woke up with one day and was like, yes, I know how to do that. I practically live on YouTube. I watch videos so much. And like, it's kind of unhealthy how much I watch videos. I mean, not unhealthy, but I'm always looking to like find a new tutorial and see new techniques in which will work for my eye shape. So I watch a lot of people who have similar eye shapes to me and like similar skin types to me, and I learn so much like from them. It's also really cool if you go to like Sephora and talk to a consultant in like the skincare, or someone who's like a actual professional. I'm not doing this on purpose, but who is a professional at makeup. So my advice would be, you need a lot of patience to learn. It takes time. It's not something that's learned overnight. So someone who is my childhood best friend, her name is Jenny. She said, what inspired you to start doing makeup videos? I'm gonna come back to that question. Someone said, her name is Isabel. I went to high school with her. She's fantastic. Love her. She said, what inspired you to start doing makeup? So this question to me goes hand in hand with what inspired you to start making makeup videos. So for me, what inspired me to start doing makeup was I loved watching makeup videos when I was living in Chicago. So probably when I was 11 or 12, I remember my dad bought me my first eyeshadow palette, and it was from Claire's. And it was one of those, it was like, it literally was like the 35B from Morphe, but there was a lot of shadows. They were chalky and they were powdery, but they got the job done. And I actually, this is so embarrassing to admit, I used to film myself on this really cheap camera I had doing my makeup. And it's so funny because I didn't know how to edit, so I literally would do my makeup first, wash it all off, and then go back and redo the tutorial. And I literally was like, what was I doing? I used to watch Bethany Moda a lot. Bethany Moda was someone I watched. Promise, I don't remember her last name. Promise Fang? I don't know, but she does really awesome transformations. I still watch her. And then Charisma Star. Oh my goodness, I adored her. And now like she's pregnant and she's having a baby and like any day now. What? That's awesome. So I really loved watching them do these transformations because they were just like, all of a sudden it was like art was on their face with their makeup. And that's what I loved so much about makeup. And that's what I still love. I don't put on makeup to make myself more attractive to anyone. I don't put on makeup to feel better about myself. And that is such a common misconception in makeup, is that people do it to gain more attention and more like from the opposite gender or from the same gender. People like always think that makeup is done to like deceive guys, deceive women, make yourself look more better than you are. But it's like, a lot of us don't wear makeup for that purpose, you know? A lot of us wear makeup for the purpose of, it's a way of expressing yourself. It's a way of, you know, putting color on your face and like making yourself stand out. And like, I think that's what I love about makeup. To me, it's art. To me, it's just, you know, you can express how you feel. You can express like your mood. Like, I mean, obviously if I'm sad, I'm not going to just go and paint blue on my eyes, but like, if I wanted to, like, yeah, I could put blue. If I wanted to do something colorful, I was feeling happy. Like, there's so many different things you can do with makeup. And I think it's really awesome because, like, for me, I'm not a great drawer. I wish I was a great drawer. Like, a lot of people are like, wow, if you can do makeup, can't you draw? And, like, yeah, like, James Charles, he's an artist. Like, he can draw. When he drew Demi Lovato, I was, like, shook. But, like, for me, I'm just not good at drawing. And it's, like, I think it's more so because I've never really sat down and just, like, drawn every single day. And, like, I know it's, like, as long as you practice, you'll get there. Watching everyone on YouTube do their makeup, and just like Patrick Star, I used to watch a lot, Nikki tutorials too, like watching these people do their makeup and just do this stuff that like is absolutely amazing and it's so like unique. I was like, I want to do that. That's it. That's what I want to do. And so here we are. So what inspired me to start making videos is the fact that I've had so much support behind doing videos. You know, I was always told like, hey, you should start a YouTube channel, but I'm like, I was scared to, because like, I know like YouTube page or YouTube channels, I feel like they're always gonna be hate. Like, even if you have a channel or you don't, you're gonna get hate. And I think that's what finally like convinced me just to like sign up and make a YouTube channel, is because no matter where you are, whether you're famous on YouTube, whether you're like literally sitting in your room all the time, you are going to get hatred from everyone. You will never please everyone in this world. So I think that's really important to keep in mind if you are wanting to start a YouTube channel, because like, you're never gonna have everyone love you. And that's just something like you need to accept in life, and that's something that like I have, lo and behold, come to acknowledge. So yeah, I've had a lot of people telling me like, you should start a YouTube. Your makeup is awesome. You should just go for it. And so finally I was like, you know what? Fine, I'll go for it. So I did. And at first I started taking pictures. As you can see, like, this is literally like, I only have 18 posts. Started posting pictures, started posting like little haul videos or haul pictures that I have of stuff. And you know, like, I was really excited because it started, like, you know, I only have like 220 followers, I think. So it's not a lot, and like, I'm not claiming to be like Instagram famous, but it's getting somewhere. So, yeah, I do have 220, and like, I love everyone who follows me. Like, y'all are the sweetest. And so, yeah, I think I'm gonna mix Prick and Cherry Soda together, these two right here, and just start blending that into the crease. And I'm gonna be using this brush, which has clearly been used with red, and it's the Morphe M573. So I'm gonna take a little bit of Tongue Pop in this palette, which is just this color right here. I'm gonna take it on the same brush, and I'm just gonna use that to kind of blend out the shadows a little bit. And yeah. So the next question, so this one comes from Ayla, and Ayla is someone I went to high school with as well. Okay, most of these questions on my personal account are from people I've gone to high school with. They're super nice. I love them all. So Ayla said, what was your biggest fear of moving to Texas? So as I mentioned previously, I am from Chicago. I'm from Illinois. I lived in Chicago for 12 years, moved out to the suburbs when I was 12. My dad still lived in the city, so technically I still lived in the city while living in the suburbs. So my biggest fear, I think, was just the fear of not being able to make friends. I'm a very social person. I love people. I love socializing with people. And like, not having, like, for me it was, okay, so I graduated high school in May of 2018, so this year. So going into these two palettes, I'm going to be switching between, I think I'm going to first go into the Modern Renaissance palette and take Red Ochre and just start blending this into the crease, trying to get it more defined. I think my biggest fear was, again, like, not being able to like socialize and meet friends as easily as I did, like, you know, being in high school. For me, this is like scary, because like, I am a very social person, but it's easier to meet friends in high school than it is in college. Because everyone in college, like, don't get me wrong, I have made some, like, two of the closest friends in the entire world through going to school. But in college, everyone's just kind of there to like get on by. Like, there's some people I talk to and they're like, oh, I'm just here because I have to be here. Like, they don't want to socialize with friends. They aren't interested in like friends. So like, so this is one of the first Morphe brushes I ever bought, literally, in the history of my entire makeup career. This is the Morphe M200. So you can see right there. It's a little old. So I'm just gonna say Red Ochre. Yeah, I mean, like, everyone can just is like in school just to kind of get on by. No one's really like 100% interested in making friends. So I was really nervous, especially because I'm also not from Texas. I don't have the same beliefs as a lot of Texans here. So it's kind of like scary to be like moving to a completely new area where like everything is different. And then having to go out and make friends as well. I think I was really scared about that mostly. And also just like leaving all of my friends in Chicago. Like, I had a lot of close friends that I had to say goodbye to. Mind you, a lot of them don't talk to me at all. But I still had to say goodbye to a lot of close ones. I had to say goodbye to almost my entire family, as well as both my aunts live where I lived. Sarah asked, what are your favorite products? Oh, this is a good one. Really, anything by Morphe I think is really great. Their eyeshadows particularly. I have not tried their eyeshadow base. Their setting spray is awesome. Their beauty blender is awesome. Their brushes are always awesome. I really like Dose of Colors eyeshadows. The one I have is Teal Me More, I think. It's bright blue. It's awesome. I love it. I have their shady eyeliner, eye cream thing. That's awesome. So I was editing this, and at one point I was talking about Urban Decay Cosmetics, and then my dog started barking, so I just completely deleted that clip from the video, which is why I go on to say same with Too Faced. It's because I was talking about Urban Decay and how it's a hit or miss brand. Same with Too Faced. Too Faced is another one where it's such, you're really rolling the die on that one. I have their chocolate palette, the peach palette, the gingerbread palette, and I think, oh, And then I have their Nikki Tutorials one. Anything, I think Anastasia Beverly Hills is always a safe place to go. I love the stick foundation they had. I love the eyebrow pomade, and I love their eyeshadows. I think their eyeshadows, except for Subculture, are really just always a great buy. I think they've never really truly let me down, and I don't think they possibly can let me down. Just the tea there. Okay, going into soft glam, I'm going to take, this is by Wet n Wild. Wet n Wild brushes are good. I always think they're a good investment. So I'm also going to be blending it out because this isn't the darkest color I'm going to be doing. I'm debating whether I want to put black on here. I'm going to start in the middle and then build it up. It's okay. I can fix it. Wow. What is happening? Just what is happening? Then to pack this color on, I'm using a ColourPop E3 brush. And I'm going to go into my Sultry palette. I'm just going to pick up Cyborg and put that all over the lid. I'm going to go back in with Modern Renaissance. Okay, yeah, that just, yeah. I'm going to go back in with Red Ochre and just add that into the crease. Just going to go ahead and go back with Mulberry with that same Wet n Wild brush. So I'm just going to take the black that's in this palette. It's called Noir. Hello. We are back and I have eyelashes. And my eyeliner is done. So we're going to move on to the face since the eyes are all done. By the way, I'm wearing Lily lashes in the style Miami. They're gorgeous. That's all you gotta know. They're gorgeous. You should invest in them. So I'm going to set my entire face first. I'm just going to use the Laura Mercier powder to set it all because I normally use a MAC powder, but because this foundation is already like a little darker than me and I don't want to layer on another colored foundation, I'm just using my Morphe sponge. Normally I use the contour kit by Anastasia, and I believe this is Havana. I use this one, which is, when you're looking this way, it's this color. But then I think I want to bring it back and I want to use my butter bronzer. Literally, this is like, I bought it and then I got that, but it's so new. Y'all know what to do with this. I'm going to take this and I'm going to take two different brushes. So the first one, it's this, I always go to look, it's this Wet n Wild brush. It's just a big fluffy brush, and I'm going to take it, throw it around the lid, and then tap it off. And then just go ahead, and I bronze, I love, okay, let me preface by saying I love bronzer. I love having a really bronzed face, and like, you don't have to go this hard in bronzer, but I love bronzer. I think it really pulls together a look, and I just really think it changes a look, so I'm gonna take this brush. This is a Morphe R14, and I'm gonna use this to contour in a second, but I'm also gonna use this for my forehead, so I'm just gonna pick up a lot of products, swirl it around. I like using this brush for my forehead in particular because, wow, that middle part is not doing it for me. Because it's small, and so it, like, you know, I can keep it kind of controlled and not have it so blended out, but also it's just a really awesome brush. Okay, so for contouring, I don't do the whole 9 yards when it comes to contouring. I'm just going to take a darker contour powder. I used this one once, and it was because I wanted the freckles on my face. I'm going to take this one. This is the one I usually use to bronze with. It's pretty, I'm going to actually mix the first one and the second one, and I'm just going to go like this. Oh god, that looks a lot darker on camera. I'm gonna do blush. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mix Provocative with actually a little bit of Pinch Me. And for this I'm using a Morphe E4, I believe it is. Yeah, so it just looks like this. Literally everyone uses it. I'm just gonna take a little bit in here, work it in there. I'm going to start from the outside, like from over here, and then build it in. So I'm going to take my iconic London Illuminator drops. This is in the shade Original. So I'm going to go ahead and put just the tiniest amount. I mean like the tiniest because these things are something else. I'm going to take literally just a drop. And I'm going to take, it's a Morphe brush. It's an E45. And so actually Nicole Concealia was talking about, I don't remember if it was this, if it was called the E8, but this is an E45. It's pretty similar to what she uses. So I'm going to go ahead and take this on the brush and then just dab it out a lot. So it really like just gets all over. I'm going to put it right here. It's just, I'm laying down a base right now. This isn't my actual highlight, so don't worry. So I think I'm going to use sarcophagus today. So I'm going to take it on an Anastasia Beverly Hills brush, you know, the one that literally everyone and their mother uses. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills A23, so I'm just going to... So next I'm going to set my brows. This is the Essence Make Me Brow in the color Brownie Brows. So for lips. So I was going to use the Huda Beauty liquid lipstick that I had picked out. I put it on and it was so liquidy and it kept just like smudging all over. So I ended up taking it off, which is why in the next clip you see my lips are like super red and like just a mess. But that is why. I think I'm going to do my Wet n Wild in Berry Recognize. So I just put on the, first off I put the Berry Recognize on, and then I put the Jeffree Star Berries on Ice on top, just to kind of get that more like this color. Okay, so here we are. Here's the final look. So I wanted to answer that final question. It is, how did you become known? This is by Camille. She said, how did you become known? I love so much of your makeup. Well, first off, thank you, Camille. That means a lot. How did you become known? Well, I'm not like widely known yet. I hope to be at some point in my time of doing this. But really what I did was, you know, I like did a lot of like hashtags. I did a lot of hashtags. And hashtags I feel like are so important because that's what gets people attention. And then it like, you know, if you search like an eyeshadow or like Morphe, you get a lot of pictures that are like people using that hashtag. And so I feel like that's a really important way, or an important type of way to get people to notice your makeup. I have a lot of different social media websites. I have Twitter, Instagram, I have Facebook, but I don't post on there except for my Facebook friends. YouTube, like you just gotta do what you can to get yourself out there. And then if you have the money to do so, I would do an Instagram promotion. They're actually really amazing. They work really well. I used that for my first Instagram tutorial I posted, and it worked amazing. I had like so many people, and it's really interesting because you can look and see like where's it reaching and who's like, is it reaching more of men or women? What state are you mostly being viewed in? And so it's really fascinating to see that. And it also tells you like age, how old people, like the different age range of like who's looking at your stuff. And I think that's really interesting because then you can kind of post according to who is like apparently mostly looking at your stuff. Yeah, I think promotions are probably the best way to get yourself out there and get yourself, you know, put your foot in the door. Working at a makeup store can also be really helpful. But yeah, Instagram, if you can use it right, is a beautiful way, and it's wonderful to get yourself noticed. So that was my final question. Thank you for your support. Thank you to everyone so much who has watched this and who has, you know, been there for my side from day one. It means so much. You have no idea. And yeah, I mean, just thank you all so much for watching, and thank you so much for joining me on this journey. So thank you again for watching. If you like what you see, hit that subscribe button below, and if that little bell button works, I would hit that so you can get notified every time I post. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!